Oh my God, my gorgeous Virgo, this is so needed in your life. What am I about to say? It's gonna be like, oh my God, it may surprise you a little bit the way I'm going to start this reading, but it's a lot about you realizing something. You know, you are gonna be really worrying about someone, and you are gonna be worrying about someone quite a lot. So you are gonna hear something, some kind of information about the specific person in your life, and this is really going to put you like in such a stage where you are really going to start worrying about that person. Nothing bad is going to happen to this person, nothing negative is going to happen to this person, nothing dangerous is going to happen to this person. But the reason why you're going to be so worried is because you feel a very strong emotional connection when it comes to that particular person in your life. But on another hand, you are going to become aware of the fact that that particular person who mean to you so much is going through something really, really kind of not necessarily negative, but just something like a little bit scary that can put potentially their life in just like a little bit of danger. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be a dark lala or anything like that, but the bottom line is that what you're going to be worrying about that particular person in your life, thank God it's going to be absolutely fine. Nothing bad is going to happen, nothing dangerous is going to happen, nothing negative is going to happen. In fact, something really significant is going to happen to that person, which is going to be so relevant when it comes to that person's life and when it comes to their quality of life being actually so much better after that moment in time. But naturally you're still going to be worrying about it because you are going to become aware of the fact that that particular person in your life is going through something very, very difficult, very scary, that could potentially put like a life of that person in danger. So the good thing is, you know, the brilliant thing is that you are really gonna have a fantastic news when it comes to that particular person in your life. But then you are going to realize that you went through something. You will go through something very deep and very emotional. And now it's all about what are you actually going to realize, the moment of connection in between you and somebody else, the moment of a reconnection in between you and somebody else. Bless your heart. This is really going to emotionally and spiritually open you so much, and this is ever so important because at the same time you are going to allow the light to come in. This is so important. What do I mean by this? I mean that you are going to realize how much a one specific person mean to you so much, and this in itself, it's like so needed, this balance, this energy, because that in itself, it's also going to give you a strength to do what you want to do. You know, when I say it's going to give you strength to do what you want to do, this is all going to create a beautiful moment in time where you're going to realize how much someone means to you so much, one specific person. But this is also bringing such a mind-blowing balance into your life where you're going to absolutely love this. You're going to love this connection, but this is all going to go on a completely different level. It's the fact how much somebody means to you and how much you mean to somebody else as well. It's going to reflect so beautifully, so amazingly on the certain part of your life where you got stuck with something, and you got stuck with something that you were working on, like only because you were just worrying about what the outcome is going to be. So it's about you understanding and completely being aware of the fact that you need to make some kind of a brave step, brave move, big move, you know. But then again, you just got like a little bit negative because you weren't too certain how things going to unfold after you make the certain step and after you make the certain move, because you fully did understand to start with that if you make a certain move and if you make a certain step like big like this is to do with something big, you know, you fully knew and you understood from the beginning that there is no way back whatsoever. But sometimes it's just to do with something irreversible. But sometimes in life, the taking a risk is like ever so important. And I'm not just saying like taking any risk, but this is when your subconscious mind, when your spirit, when your soul is guiding you. You know that it's to do with like a very much so specific aspect of your life that you feel ridiculously passionate about. And there is a reason for it, because it's the part of your destiny, it's the part of your karma. It's the part of your soul purpose. It's the part of your spiritual purpose. So this is going to stay with you forever until you are, alive on this earth. So this is to do with something so significant. But sometimes we just need something really specific in our lives to happen to us in order, to understand that, there may be certain people who mean to us so much more than something that we are working on. And this reminds us beautifully about the very, very special people in our lives, but most importantly, what a mind-blowing role they're actually playing. So these emotions, they are the energy, in itself, like a very, very powerful energy. And this powerful energy, it's really going to shake you up to the point, because emotionally you're going to go somewhere just like a little bit dark, like you're going to be scared a little bit what is going to happen to that person. So emotionally, you are going to find yourself in a kind of maybe just a little bit darkish place. But then again, the darker place you find yourself, the more light you are going to bring in. And this light is ever so needed to understand that you are still standing in your own way, when it comes to something really specific, making a really big move. And I really hope this is not too confusing. And all these feelings and emotions that you're going to be going through are going to beautifully open you up and are going to remind you of, like, to be brave, to be strong. And you're going to immediately, a couple of days later, when you realize, it's all going to be fine with that particular person you've been worrying about, just a couple of days later, you're going to be like, oh my God, like now suddenly what was scaring you, like to do that step, it's just going to seem like so insignificant when it comes to like the power of feelings, emotions, the power of love, and this doesn't have to be, like necessarily your partner, your husband, your wife. It could even be your best friend. It could be your family member. But it is to do with somebody that you are really going to be like, oh my God, like really worried about to start with. And look where this is going to take you. It's absolutely brilliant. You just needed this, this like emotional balance in order to tap into this like kind of area and stage and dimension of your life, which is literally going to set you free. You see how interesting things do work in life, my gorgeous Virgolini, sometimes, so this is important. You see, this is so important, okay? And also, what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Virgolini, that this week it's gonna be a mind-blowing week. There is so much which is going to be happening, like I don't even know where to start, to be quite honest with you, okay? So right at the beginning of this week, what else I was going to say to you, which is going to be really, really important, there is something that was affecting you, some kind of a challenge, some kind of obstacle. It's like, I don't like this bad mama here. Some kind of a dark challenge and some kind of annoying obstacle that you've been going through within the last 7 months, okay? So something happened to you within the last 7 months, some kind of a problem. And that particular problem that happened, as well, kind of like, it had such an effect on you. And do you know what this problem was all about? It was something not moving on, something not happening, and just putting you into some kind of a dark corner, and just a kind of making you question certain things about yourself and about your life and about your spiritual journey. But then again, on another hand, these last 7 months have been so important, because this last 7 months, my gorgeous Virgolini, you have realized so much about yourself, so much about your life, so much, like I really have to say to you that the life has brought to you like a completely different meaning, within the last 7 months. Because looking at the bigger picture, there is a lot that you have realized about the world in itself, let alone about yourself. This was important, more important than you can possibly imagine. Even if you think that a lot of things haven't been happening within the last 7 months, I can tell you that I have. Maybe it's a lot at the back of your subconscious mind, but you did become aware of like some ludicrous things, some crazy things, some mental things, certain things that absolutely don't make sense when it comes to the actual world on the outside, that has got nothing to do with your personal situation. But all this was preparing you for this moment in time where you are gonna feel so crisp, especially when it comes to you realizing how smart you are, how clever you are, because they are gonna be how intuitively aware of things you actually are on like such a powerful scale. You're very powerful beings indeed. So it's all going to start with a couple of confirmations that you are also going to have at around the beginning of this week. What was on your mind? That, what were you thinking about? Like maybe the worst fears, but nothing to do with your life in general. But it's to do a lot with the outside and the view that you actually have on the actual world. So there are a couple of fears that are going to be like kind of confirmed to you. But because you've been through so much, this is not going to scare you. This is actually going to have a completely opposite impact on you, and it's like really gonna start preparing you, that now a lot is gonna be down to you, but you are gonna like this. You're gonna realize that if you don't kind of make certain moves right now, no one else is going to make them for you, my gorgeous Virgolini. So this is why this is going to be so important. Not only like a really big problem and challenge, it's going to come to an end, something that you've been dealing with over the last 7 months. This problem affected you in such a way, it was like kind of shadowing you. It was like, it became like a dark attachment. It kind of caused some kind of restriction in your life, especially when it comes to like maybe you at the same time, basically, when I said that, like a kind of, it caused like a certain restriction in your life, sorry. But then again, that at the same time, it was kind of closed you in. Like you were not as open-minded as you could have been, for example. And that in itself, it's also quite important when it comes to your personal transition. Because what is going to happen now, you are going to release something that was like kind of causing this limitation, something that you've been limited yourself with. You are about to release this, and that is so important because it's all about you kind of restoring control in your life, you basically detaching yourself from something that is like became like a very, very dark and negative and quite unhealthy attachment as well, which was ultimately affecting you. Do you know what the bottom line is here? That this was affecting you in such a way where you had like a fear of change, okay? And this is not good whatsoever, because before you would want to start something, before you would make a certain step, certain move, instead of being like really open-minded, if there is a just little touch of like a negativity, this can kind of create such a ripple reaction which can affect so much, and it could have been so much better, you see. But it's all kind of down to you and down to your own understanding of things and the way things work in life. So this is going to you're going to realize that this was making you to be scared of changes, and it was also making you really, really unhappy. So this is why this is so important, my gorgeous Virgolini. It's not only this is absolutely crazy how this week it's going to be. Only a couple of days later, you are going to become aware of this important, absolutely mind-blowing opportunity. Just couple of days later, listen to me very carefully, just couple of days later, you are going to become aware of this mind-blowing opportunity. My gorgeous Virgolini, you've been waiting for this for a very, very long time, for a really long time. This is not just any opportunity. This is something that is gonna make you feel happy like never before. This is gonna make a such a huge impact on your life that as soon as you become aware of this opportunity, you're going to start screaming of happiness. But at that moment in time, you're also going to start the process of healing. And you're going to realize that maybe within the last few months, you felt a little bit drained, you felt a little bit tired. And now suddenly, after this moment in time, this is going to rejuvenate you and to the point where you're going to realize, oh my God, I've got so much energy. This is absolutely brilliant. And you're also going to be able to notice some kind of other ailment that was really bothering you for a while. It's actually going to start going away. Yet again, you will be able to realize how everything is connected. So my gorgeous Virgolini, this opportunity that you are going to have, this is not just any opportunity. This is something that is actually also going to surprise you completely. This is going to surprise you like, oh my God, like really surprise you. But it's like, this is a big opportunity. This is a huge opportunity. This is something that you've been waiting for such a long time that you are not even going to be able to kind of believe that this is actually happening. And I'm not going to lie to you. There is like a kind of like a challenge, you know, there is that opportunity, but almost immediately you are going to feel like some kind of a challenge here. But this challenge that you're going to feel, you're not going to be able to wait to kind of take this on. And this is something different that you're going to notice about yourself. You're going to start enjoying different things in life. And this, after this moment in time, you will see what I mean. This is so important. And also, you know, it's this opportunity, it's like gonna bring so much, you know, it's bringing a really kind of inspiration into your life. It's bringing such a beautiful prospect into your life. And it's a lot to do with you mixing of the past and present as well. But it's a lot to do with you just following what makes you passionate, what makes you optimistic, you know, what brings this satisfaction within, what brings this pleasure, this happiness. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And never mind the fact that there is also going to be like a very unusual moment. Even my plantini, shakini. Do you know what I mean? You are going to realize also like some weirdness going on. And it doesn't surprise me because it's October. You know that in October the energy is completely different. When it comes to like a spirit world, when it comes to our spirit guides, when it comes to our guardian angels, do you know what I mean? It's not only like the end of October, the 31st of October. I told you this, when we have Samhain, or we have, they call it Halloween or Samhain, you know, when the veil in between the spirit world and this world is at its thinnest, you know. So it's not only on the 31st of October, but this is like the whole month of October. It's pretty much so full of spirits. It's going to be full of signs. It's going to be full of indications. The more you're open to it, the more informations and signs you're actually going to have. Even more so, it's not only like when it comes to the month of October that the energy is like this throughout the whole month. It even goes like a 1 week into November until the 7th of November. Actually, the energy is like a pretty much so like a very unusual, very strange. But the more you like it, the more you kind of pay attention to it, the more tuned you are going to be. You know, the more tuned in you're actually going to be, and the more you kind of you're open to it, the more signs you're going to have. And also, you know what I mean? If you notice, like within this week, numbers 333 and 777, any combination of this number, if you notice any combinations of these numbers repeating throughout this week, this is your clear indication and this is your clear sign that you need to hurry up with something that was on your mind at that moment in time. You will see that something was on your mind that you were thinking about, but you're not doing anything. So this is going to be a sign to put your priority as a number one and to take the first step almost immediately, to hurry up with something. This is going to be a clear indication. Whenever you see and become aware of the numbers 333 or 777, my gorgeous Virgolini, this is something that you have to like really just immediately reflect and think and just like hurry up with something. This is going to be a sign. This is going to be your indication. Okay, but going back to the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini, sorry, I really hope that this reading is not again like too confusing. I'm so sorry, but this week is just gonna be so much. It's gonna be happening when it comes to this week. It's just absolutely crazy, but but it's good. But it's good. All I can say to you, why am I so excited, is because this is the time when you're gonna come home to yourself. Okay, by the end of this week, something mental and beautiful and spiritual is going to happen to you. And it's all started with you worrying about that special person in your life, but this is all going to lead towards you realizing the importance of like a certain people in your life. And you're also going to be in such a lovey and nice mood, and you will see, it's like you're going to start like kind of thinking about certain people in your life that you haven't seen for such a long time. And especially one particular person who you haven't seen in absolute ages, you haven't heard from that person in absolute ages, you are suddenly going to start thinking about that person at around the end of the week, or you're going to dream about that particular person, someone who used to be like a huge part of your life, but then you just drifted away, okay, drifted apart. And it could be like a friend, no problem with that friend whatsoever, but now suddenly you're going to be like, oh my God, how come I had a dream about this friend? Really strange. This is your very powerful indication that you need to immediately get in touch with that person, because that particular person is also going to be having an absolutely remarkable information for you, which you are going to find extremely surprising. You're not going to believe what that person is going to tell you, but later on you will see this, you will find this as a sacred moment, because it's going to provide you with something, that information. It's also going to provide you with what exactly it's missing in your life as well. And this is going to be such a powerful moment of rediscovery, because it's also to do with something that you used to do like a long time ago, maybe in your childhood. It's most likely to do with like a certain skill that you're not doing, you're not using, and you really should. Now it's time to bring that back into your life, no matter what this is, because that is going to lead towards something else, okay, even more significant, even bigger, even better. And going back to the first part of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini, I'm keep on jumping like I'm keep on jumping like, oh my God. But that first week, when you become aware of this important opportunity, this mind-blowing opportunity, it's literally going to change your life. Everything is going to start making sense that you've been through so far, especially something specific that you carried on, that it was making you feel really sad and negative and unhappy, but you carried on and you couldn't understand why. Even that is going to be absolutely obvious. This opportunity that you are going to have, there is, as I told you, there's something unusual it's going to happen. I'm going back to that opportunity, mind-blowing opportunity at the beginning of this week. Listen to me very carefully. I hope I'm not too much, okay? And that opportunity that you are going to have at the beginning of this week, it's going to be big. This is going to be huge. I told you that you're not going to be able to believe which kind of opportunity you actually have. And even more so, I told you that something really unusual is going to happen, especially because we are within the month of October. So there is going to be this bird as a sign, as a good omen and an indication. There is something going to be, again, a rather unusual about that bird. Whether that bird is going to be flying in an unusual way, whether that bird is going to be sitting in like somewhere unusual, whether that bird is going to like have unusual colors, or whether this bird is going to be the bird that you've seen for the first time in your life. But there is something that is going to be so unusual about that bird, and that is also going to be a clear sign, an indication that you're 100% tuned in. And this is also going to be your confirmation how important this message is, like how important this opportunity it's going to be, because it's going to help you to understand life from a completely different angle. But it's also going to like really put you on the path where you're gonna experience things that you like kind of never ever experienced before. And it's also gonna start the process of like you reconnecting with yourself, but also going to start the process of like a very special people are going to start kind of coming into your life as well after this moment in time. So this is all going to be a sign, you know, when you become aware of this when you become aware of this like kind of opportunity, and then you become aware of this sign, this is all going to lead towards you understanding, okay, this is something that you kind of really need to be serious about. But then at the same time, you know, you just have to be patient. Of course, you have to be patient. This is a lot about you you like thinking about which adjustment exactly do you need to make. And this, as soon as you become aware of like which adjustment do you need to make, how you're gonna know which adjustment you need to make, like in order to kind of like speed this up. For example, is somebody very successful in your life and somebody who you really look up to, somebody who's like successful, but also really spiritual. Through that person, you will be able to understand which adjustment do you need to make in order to speed this up as much as you can. This is the moment where you're going to release from bondage even further, because this is when you're going to start to understand like the whole like how far this is actually going to go, and how much this is actually going to change your life. And this is going to be the moment where you are going to start reaching towards enlightenment as well, and it's going to lead towards you having such an interesting and powerful and important information. Now suddenly you're going to realize that what exactly do you need to do. There is something really specific that you are going to need to do, but it's to do with a certain goal that hasn't got anything to do with what I've just said so far, but there is still something that you're going to need to work on, put more energy towards something really specific in order to kind of like give yourself into this like situation like a 1000%. There is something else that you still need to gonna kind of finish first and put more energy towards something really specific. And this in itself is gonna be absolutely obvious here indeed, because what you need to understand, my gorgeous Virgolini, it's all about you kind of like reflecting and redirecting your energy. You are really pretty much so expanding your horizons, and by expanding your horizons, I mean that this is all going to lead towards you realizing a fresh new way of living, which is indeed about to emerge. It is going to be almost impossible for you not to notice this whatsoever. And you are, by the time you get to the mid part of this week, I'm not going to lie to you, you're just going to have this on your mind like persistently, and the more you're thinking about this opportunity, and the more you're thinking about these changes, and the more you're thinking about a fresh new living emerging for you, you know what I mean, the more you're thinking about that, the more bored and negative you're gonna feel about your immediate surrounding and about the things that you already are kind of slowly but surely coming to an end at this moment of your spiritual journey. But you just kind of also are going to be so inspired, and what is going to be driving you forward, it's like the amount of ideas and that you're actually going to have. This is brilliant, because trust me, it's all to do with the passion and what's going to come after all this. At around the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini, you are really, there is somebody who's very consistent in your life, somebody who's like a really important to you, but that particular person who's consistent and important to you, it's really to do with maybe somebody just giving you the certain news like every now and then. That particular person, it's really going to you're gonna hear some kind of news from that particular person who's rather consistent in your life, and the news that you're gonna have, it's gonna like really open your eyes, and it's really kind of gonna be such a waking moment for you. This is going to wake you up like nothing before. It's something, it's gonna open your eyes and it's going to wake you up. This is going to be a huge, a massive wake up call, my gorgeous Virgolini. Here you're gonna get that sense of urgency, but this is gonna be a good urgency indeed. So what that person who's pretty consistent in your life is gonna tell you, this news and information, it's going to be a huge wake-up call. It's going to open your eyes, and it's bringing this much needed clarity into your life. And that in itself is going to make you aware that now it's time to begin now. And now it's time to take your first step. You will know what I mean, because this is going to lead towards absolutely mind-blowing victory and mind-blowing accomplishment. This is going to lead towards you being so proud of this decision connection that you are going to make here, that already by the time you get to April 2024, yes, I said April 2024, you are gonna absolutely not gonna believe where this is going to actually take you. It's to do with a huge accomplishment. It's to do with a huge success. It's to do with a massive victory. It's to do with like you achieving probably one of the biggest things in your life on this spiritual journey. You are gonna feel so proud of yourself like never ever before, my gorgeous Virgolini. Indeed, this is absolutely brilliant. Like, oh my goodness. And also at around the midweek, you know what else is going to happen? You are really kind of gonna there is some kind of unexpected event which is going to happen. Something is going to happen completely unexpectedly, some kind of unexpected event, and you are going to be like kind of surrounded by the certain people, maybe 2 or 3 people, maybe 10 people, maybe 5 people. Maybe this is going to be on the outside somewhere, maybe this is going to be on the inside somewhere, or maybe you're even going to be surrounded by the specific people like on the internet, maybe certain meetings, you know what I mean? There could be like a 5 or 6 people on the internet talking, and this is still like kind of the energy of people, whether it's in a physical world or in an internet world, it doesn't really matter, but something, it's going to happen unexpectedly. So some kind of unexpected event is going to happen, my gorgeous Virgolini, at around the midweek. This is mental, because that particular unexpected event, you're going to find yourself at completely unexpectedly, and you are going to be looking at, you're going to be talking to other people about something really interesting. You're going to hear something that is going to be really weird, and what you're going to hear, it's also going to make you wonder, like, oh my God, are like some kind of like a horrible people around there, you know, something that you're going to hear, it's really going to make you wonder, are some kind of non-human creatures like walking amongst us, do you know what I mean? And you're absolutely right, but this is something what you're gonna hear on the outside, you know, and I'm just trying to help you to recognize this particular situation. It's not only about that, but it's more about what are you gonna come across and what are you gonna see. There is something that these people are gonna be doing, there is something that these people are gonna be talking about, and this is really going to get your attention, and you're gonna learn something, learn how to implement something, learn how to build something, learn how to do something that you didn't know before, and you're gonna be even more surprised with yourself. How come that this is like kind of, you're finding this so interesting? Just remember that you've been prepared for this for a very long time, and this is not happening by an accident. This is happening because it's meant to happen right now. Now you're ready. There is something that you're gonna kind of see, that you're going to feel such a strong connection to actually learn, and that in itself it's going to be absolutely super evident when it comes to preparation and when it comes to some kind of progress, but most importantly when it comes to you later on preparing for something really important. This is ever so needed when it comes to your balance, harmony, patience, you know, being sensible, and this is also going to help you to find the meaning, you know, in like when it comes to especially like a mental clarity, and it's also gonna make you aware. This is gonna lead towards a huge breakthrough in as little as 1 month's time after this moment in time, but it's also gonna lead towards a very interesting brand new idea. Okay, and also by the time you get to the last part of this week, you know, my gorgeous Virgolini, by the time you get to the last part of this week, what else I was going to say, please, for the love of God, try to take and drink moringa powder. Moringa powder, it's to do with like these leaves of this tree, which is like, oh my God, one of the most powerful like supplements that you can possibly get. It's called moringa powder, and it's made of this tree, but it's made of these leaves. and it's extremely nutritious, one of the most nutritious things on in this world. And this in itself is going to be so important because it's going to give you the huge amount of vitamins and minerals and a huge amount of potassium. Potassium is something that you are going to really need like there is no tomorrow throughout this week, but also throughout the months of October as well. Potassium is something that your body is going to need, but also at the same time, I know that on another hand, you are going to feel a little blockage when it comes to your stomach, when it comes to your digestion. It's going to feel very sensitive. So moringa powder is also going to be super important when it comes to flushing out the toxins out of your body. And that is ultimately going to be absolutely superb when it comes to your whole body and your digestion as well. And this is something I highly recommend you because it's also going to give you a wonderful energy as well. Moringa powder, I highly recommend you to take. You just take like a little glass of water and you take a little teaspoon and you put just like a third on the third of this teaspoon. You don't put half of this teaspoon, you don't put a whole teaspoon. No baby, no, it's too much, it's too strong. So you just need to put like the third of the teaspoon, put in the water, mix it and just drink it. It's absolutely a must, my gorgeous Virgolini, indeed. And also, what else I was going to say at around the end of this world, you know, this is so brilliant when it comes to the end of this world, the end of this world, when it comes to the end of this week, the end, well, hopefully not the end of this world, you know, I mean, nothing would surprise me anymore. No, I'm joking. So now, when it comes to the end of this week, you know, this is brilliant because now this is the beginning of a very special stage and a special cycle in your life. You know, you need to understand that now you will understand that, you know, what are you gonna become aware of? It's about this what are you going to become aware of? You're going to look at something, you're going to see something, and this is more to do with maybe like you paying attention to the TV or watching news or something completely, maybe watching movie, and then suddenly it's going to come to you. So while you're looking at something and thinking about something completely different, but I know you're going to be looking at something, this is just suddenly going to come into your mind. Suddenly it's going to come into your mind that, you know, that what exactly was causing lack of faith, and what exactly was kind of discouraging you, and what exactly was making you disconnected. Somehow you will be able to put two and two together, and somehow you will be able to find a connection actually after all that because of what you were watching and what you were paying attention to. So this is also going to be a clear sign and direction to not to watch things that are bad, not to watch things that are negative, not to watch things that are toxic, not to watch things anymore that are bringing you down. It's the same to do with the people. If certain people are persistently bringing you down and having a negative impact on you, then this is to do with their energy. Maybe you should just move away from people like this and go towards people that are elevating you, that are making you feel good, that are making you feel better. You should go towards people that are contributing towards you feeling good. So you see what I mean? I hope this is not too confusing. So this is going to be a sign also that you must kind of stop watching certain things. Maybe like a really kind of downer. You've been watching certain things without even realizing that have brought so much down, so many bad things in your life, and you need to elevate from this. You know, this is terrible because things are done to people in so many different ways without people even realizing. It's been such a doom, sad negativity, sadness, and people are listening to things and hearing things on the outside for such a long time, and people got used to it. But lots of people don't understand that subconsciously, you know, people can find themselves very easily within this spiritual prison, because subconsciously you can constantly picking up on the negative things, you know, without even realizing. So this is also going to make you aware of, to establish and realize what was like really discouraging you, because you need to kind of turn your TV off, you need to turn your radio off, you must not not watch certain movies. And I know it's really hard nowadays because every single bloody movie nowadays is also like a propaganda. So it's like really hard to like kind of even watch a movie, to like kind of a single movie without any like unnecessary, annoying, idiotic propaganda that we are all kind of slowly but surely becoming aware of, you know. So this is why you just need to kind of pay attention to those absolutely vile, toxic things in your life. But as soon as you become aware of this, you know, you need to understand there is more to it. This was causing a lack of faith. This was discouraging you. This was creating this disconnection. So just do things and watch things and pay attention to things that are making you feel good, like funny movies, funny comedies, and just like things spiritual, because this is not going to change. It's just getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And you realizing this is it's a sign that you are very, very special indeed. And most importantly, it's also the sign of a new beginning. It's the sign of a change. It's the sign of transformation. It's the sign of transition, my gorgeous Virgolini. You know, it's the metamorphosis, and it's also showing and marking clearly the end of the cycle that was affecting your persistence. You know, it was testing your faith. It was affecting your resilience. You know, it was affecting you at a time when you should have put certain boundaries around you. So this is why this is so important, because you will realize only 2 or 3 days later you are going to discover something like so interesting. Only 2 or 3 days later you are going to discover something so interesting, my gorgeous Virgolini. You're going to discover something which is really gonna like kind of reflect on your mental energy. It's going to really inspire you, and what you're going to discover, it's also going to show you like a limitless potential, but it's at the same time going to make you feel really passionate, like you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this. It's going to make you feel at the same time really free, like a free spirit. You know, it's going to put you in a mode to explore. It's going to make you feel extremely excited, and it's a lot to do with your own freedom and doing exactly what you want. Absolutely brilliant, my gorgeous Virgolini, indeed. This is going to lead towards such a great improvement in your whole life. Okay, my gorgeous Virgolini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.